they're not waiting for permission. They're building what's next. Across cities and towns, from quiet neighborhoods to the bustling epicenters of change, a new generation of Black leaders emerges. Their voices rise with clarity, fueled by the legacy of those who came before them, yet unbound by history's limitations. They carry forward dreams conceived in struggle and sacrifice, but they do so on their own terms, bold, inventive, fierce. This is a story of inspiration and youth, of determination woven from the threads of ancient roots and fresh blossom. In their hands lies a future both fragile and fierce, a future they forge through vision, courage, and unwavering hope. To understand the present, we must first remember the past. The legacy of Black leadership in America is etched in the pages of history. Leaders who dared to speak truth to power, who organized communities, who imagined a nation more just and whole. From Frederick Douglass's fiery oratory to Ida B. Wells' fearless journalism. From the strategic brilliance of Ella Baker to the charismatic force of Martin Luther King Jr., these giants laid the bedrock. Today's young leaders inherit not only their stories but their spirit. They know the weight of that history, yet they do not carry it as a burden. Rather, they wear it like armor, stepping forward with a fresh urgency and a new language of justice. Meet Amara, a 22-year-old organizer from Atlanta, whose work centers on voter engagement and civic participation. In the shadows of skyscrapers and sprawling neighborhoods, she moves with purpose, knocking on doors, listening to stories, and weaving a tapestry of community power. Her generation grew up in a digital era, yet they understand that true change happens face to face, in the subtle exchanges of trust and hope. Amara's eyes reflect a fierce determination, not just to register voters but to inspire them to reclaim a democracy too long denied. She embodies a new kind of leadership, intimate, inclusive, relentless. In Detroit, Malik channels his passion into education reform. At just 25, he leads a nonprofit dedicated to rewriting the narrative around Black youth. For Malik, education is liberation, a sacred pathway out of systemic poverty and marginalization. But he refuses to accept the status quo. His approach is radical in its simplicity, centering students' voices, integrating cultural pride into curricula, and demanding resources where there were none. Malik's journey is one of resilience, shaped by his own experiences in underfunded schools and neighborhoods scarred by economic decline. His work is a reminder that leadership is not confined to offices or stages. It lives in classrooms, in conversations, in the quiet transformations of young minds. Across the country, in the tech hubs of the West Coast, Ayanna is breaking barriers in a field historically closed to many like her. As a software engineer and advocate for diversity in STEM, she confronts both visible and invisible walls. Her leadership is a blend of innovation and advocacy, coding new futures, while mentoring young Black girls who dream of the impossible. Ayanna's story speaks to the intersection of identity and opportunity, revealing how representation reshapes industries and imaginations alike. She reminds us that the next generation's leaders are not merely inheriting old roles, but are creating new ones. Roles that reflect the full complexity and brilliance of Black life. These leaders share a common thread, a commitment to community. They understand that progress is not a solitary endeavor, but a collective journey. They build bridges between generations, recognizing the wisdom of elders while amplifying youthful energy. Their leadership defies stereotypes. It is as multifaceted as the communities they serve. They tackle issues from environmental justice to economic equity, from mental health to criminal justice reform. Each challenge they confront echoes the struggles of the past, but demands solutions born of contemporary insight and creativity. In their hands, activism becomes artistry, a mosaic of strategies, voices, and dreams. Consider the story of Jalen, a poet and activist in New Orleans, whose words ripple through neighborhoods marked by displacement and resilience. His leadership is lyrical, rooted in the power of storytelling to heal and mobilize. Poetry becomes a conduit for pain and hope, a language that transcends barriers and sparks collective action. Jalen's work exemplifies a profound truth. That cultural expression is inseparable from political struggle. Through art, he reclaims spaces and narratives, reminding us that leadership is not only about policies but about identity, belonging, and the human spirit's capacity to rise. In the halls of academia, Dr. Simone challenges entrenched narratives with scholarship that centers Black excellence and critiques systemic injustice. Her research uplifts marginalized voices, illuminating histories too often erased or distorted. Beyond the ivory tower, Simone mentors students, encouraging them to see themselves as architects of knowledge and change. Her leadership is intellectual and deeply personal, a testament to the power of education not only to inform, but to transform. Through her work, she bridges theory and practice, reminding us that knowledge fuels liberation. The digital age has amplified these young leaders' reach, enabling them to connect, organize, and inspire on an unprecedented scale. Social media becomes both a tool and a stage where movements are born and sustained. Yet, amid the noise and immediacy, they remain grounded. They reject performative activism, insisting on accountability and tangible progress. Their leadership balances the virtual and the visceral, knowing that hashtags alone cannot dismantle centuries of oppression. This duality of presence online and in the streets defines a generation that is as savvy as it is sincere. In rural communities, where resources are scarce and visibility is limited, leaders like Tasha emerge with fierce determination. She spearheads initiatives addressing food insecurity and healthcare access, understanding that justice is multi-dimensional. Tasha's leadership is rooted in intimacy, a deep knowledge of place and people, a refusal to overlook those forgotten by mainstream narratives. Her work expands the definition of what it means to lead, showing that true leadership is responsive, empathetic, and grounded in lived experience. Through her, we see the power of localized action to ripple outward and inspire broader movements. Together, these young leaders embody a renaissance, a rebirth of purpose and possibility. They stand on the shoulders of giants, yet they carve their own paths, illuminated by the light of ancestral wisdom and contemporary struggle. Their stories intertwine, creating a mosaic of resilience, creativity, and unyielding hope. They remind us that leadership is not a static title, but a dynamic journey, one that demands courage, compassion, and an unshakable belief in the future. In watching them, we witness the unfolding of a new chapter in the ongoing story of Black freedom and power. As the sun sets on one era and dawn breaks on another, the next generation rises, undaunted, visionary, and ready. They refuse to be confined by the limitations of history or the skepticism of the present. Instead, they build, create, and lead with the fierce grace of those who know that the struggle for justice is never finished, but always renewed. Their footsteps echo in the streets, their voices resound in the halls of power. Their dreams light the way forward. This is not just a story of youth, it is a testament to the enduring spirit of Black leadership, a spirit that carries us all toward a more just and vibrant tomorrow. They are the next generation of Black leaders you should know, not just because of what they do, but because of who they are, architects of change, bearers of hope, and the living proof that the roots of the past can nourish the renaissance of the future. In their hands, the promise of tomorrow takes shape, fierce and unbreakable. And as we watch them build what's next, we are reminded that every act of leadership is an act of love, a love that persists, endures, and transforms. This has been Roots Renaissance. See you in the next chapter.